All right. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the City Dogs and City Kitties monthly virtual cat adoption event, where whether you're taking a break from the World Cup or simply here for the cats, we are so glad that you're with us today. You're going to meet 11 incredible adoptable cats and kittens, each with their own personality, quirks, and special qualities, and we hope that one of them might just turn out to be your perfect match. This event is being live streamed on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. So if you have any questions about any of the adoptable cats that you see today, please drop them in the chat and we'll try to get them answered in real time. Supporting our efforts today are volunteers Maggie and Kelly. And for anyone new here, my name is Prabha and I'm CDCK's virtual cat adoption event lead. CDCK is a DC-based rescue founded in 2011. We don't have a physical shelter, so all of our adoptable dogs and cats live in foster homes. Thanks to this incredible network of fosters, some of whom you're going to meet today, we've saved over 13,000 pets so far. If you want to follow along after the live stream, you can find us on Instagram at CDCK Rescue, on YouTube at City Dogs Rescue City Kitties, and on Facebook at City Dogs and City Kitties Rescue. Our website is citydogsrescuedc.org, and that is the best place to donate or sponsor an animal's care, to volunteer, or to adopt a dog or cat. All right, with that, let's get into the event. And a reminder, please drop your questions in the chat anytime, and we will try to get them answered live. So first up, we're going to meet an outgoing, affectionate cat with who offers the perfect combination of high energy play and cuddles. We have Paul here with his foster parent, Taryn. Thank you so much for joining us. I'd love it if you could turn on your camera, and I'm going to spotlight you for everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. All right, Taryn, can you start us off by telling us a little bit about Paul? What is his special quality for you?
He's so snuggly. If he had his way, he would be snuggling pretty much 24/7. Um, and loves to just curl up in your lap and sleep or curl up in your lap while you're reading a book. That's the number one thing for him.
Well, that sounds honestly like a really wonderful thing to have in a companion, especially if you like a calm
Yeah.
environment. I do understand that in a survey that you gave us, you said that he seems to be like the best of both worlds, you know, that he's super playful during
Yeah.
playtime and he's super snuggly during downtime. Do you think you could tell us what that balance looks like in everyday life?
Yeah. So right now he's in play mode, so he wants me to be playing with him with a wand. But he's pretty like when he wants to play, he's all in on playtime. And then when he wants to snuggle, he's like fully ready to snuggle and fall asleep on your shoulder, in your arms. Like he goes from, 100% play to 100% snuggle pretty quickly, which is it's kind of nice. You know where he's at usually.
Do you think we could get a glimpse of him? It seems like
Yes. He's
he
he's very active right now, so I'm gonna see if I can come here, Paul. One sec.
and I understand that
Yes.
Paul was
Oh,
initially
good job.
here. Oh,
Look,
hi, Paul.
Paul. Yeah, come here.
Oh, I love those markings.
Yes, he's got the sort of alternating toe beans, so some of them are pink and some of them are black.
Oh, I love that. That's very
Yeah.
cute. Does he let you touch the toe beans?
Yes, if he's sleepy, he does. Yes. Oh, good job. Say hi. Oh,
Oh, hello,
he's on
Paul.
the laptop now. Good
Yes.
job, Paul. Yes, very
Paul
close up.
is saying, adopt me, please. I will sit
There.
on your laptop and
Yeah.
help you with your work as well. Oh, he's got beautiful eyes. I understand that he was here initially with another cat. So do you think you could tell me a little bit about, how he does with other cats, or if you have any information about, how he does with other kids or dogs?
Yes, so he had another cat buddy that was actually just adopted earlier this afternoon, and he loved to play with his cat friend. Very playful, interested, liked to groom him, wanted to snuggle with him. And they didn't know each other beforehand. So we introduced them kind of slowly and then they became buds. And I think actually he would do really well with another cat in the household. We haven't tested him with dogs or kids, but he's very gentle with his play. So I think it's likely that he would do well with kids, especially if they were a little bit older.
Okay, that's really good information for us to
Mhm.
know. Is there anything about Paul's routine or anything else that you think we should talk about that we haven't covered yet?
He's actually such an easy cat. He's like I said, when he wants to snuggle, he's, oh, good job, you got it. When he wants to snuggle, he's very snuggly, and when he wants to play, like right now, he's very into it.
How long does playtime last with him?
I would say it's like 30-minute bursts. And he's very good at entertaining himself too. Like he's got a lot of spring toys around the house and balls that he likes to bat around. He loves watching birds out of the window. So we got him one of those little pads that you kind of attach with suction cups to the window, and he likes to sit up high and watch them.
Okay, so what kind of home would be his ideal forever home?
I think he would do well in a variety of spaces as long as he had a good amount of toys and if he could, do some bird watching. I think he would actually do pretty well in a high traffic home because he's so friendly. So if it was noisy, I think he would do well. I think he might struggle a little bit if there was not a ton of contact with people during the day or another cat, but I think he would do really well with another cat or with kids or with somebody who worked from home.
Thank
Huh.
you so much for all of that information. I think you've given us a really good insight into Paul and what his life is like. I want to ask our volunteer here, Maggie, are there any questions about Paul in the chat? Oh, Maggie, I don't think.
Sorry, I was having some technical difficulties. No questions so far, but I'll keep an eye out.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much for joining us today, Taryn and Paul. We really appreciate your time.
Yeah,
And
of
with that,
course.
we're gonna move on to our next presentation. So next up, we have a total love bug whose happy little march, biscuit making skills, and enormous appetite for cuddles are almost guaranteed to make you smile. Please say hello to Cheddar and their foster parent, Mary. I'm gonna spotlight you guys next. There you are. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mary and Cheddar. So Mary, I have to start with this description on Cheddar's profile of his famous Happy March. What exactly does that look like, and what is he like when he greets you?
Oh yeah, so yeah, Cheddar loves he's a very friendly cat. He's not really scared of new people. So when he kind of sees us as we enter the foster room, he kind of will greet us with this his little front paws start kind of moving as if he's making biscuits while he's like perfectly standing there saying hello to us. So yeah, so it's really adorable. He'll make biscuits on the blanket, he'll make air biscuits. He's just a really diligent and productive biscuit maker.
I love that. Maybe he moonlights at like a biscuit factory or something. He's just
Prob-
trying to fill some orders in there. Cheddar's profile makes him seem like a true love bug and a little shadow. How does he show his affection and his desire to be close to his person?
Yeah, so when you kind of come in, he will kind of go up to you. He'll rub his little cheeks against your leg. Like so he'll kind of make biscuits, and he likes to sort of follow you around a little bit. Like for when I'm going into the next room to clean his litter box, he'll come and kind of greet me. And yeah, he's very relaxed. Of course, like right now he's being playful as well, but when he's in a more relaxed mood, he'll kind of sit next to you calmly or watch you from a distance. Or sometimes, if you're like sleeping at night, he'll alternate between like going off and doing his own thing or coming up and sort of sitting on your chest, and greeting. So yeah, he purrs. He has a really, really gorgeous, soft purr as well, especially as you're like petting him, and rubbing against his cheeks. So yeah, he's lots of different ways to show his affection.
That really just sounds honestly like the best time with a companion. And you mentioned this, so I want to segue into this question. I'm so curious about his playful side. What does playtime with Cheddar look like, and what really gets him excited? I see this wand toy that you're waving at him. Are there any other toys that speak to him, and how long does he usually need for play?
Oh yeah, I think wand toys are definitely his favorite. So we have this sort of bird one, then we also have a small mouse one that really loves both. Um, yeah, so I think right now he's in the more kind of his lazy play mode where you see he's kind of just like lying here and kind of doing bunny kicks or leaping at the toys. What he also has a more higher energy play mode when if you wave the wand toy around, he'll run around at incredible speeds to catch it. So yeah, as I say, I think wand toy is favorite, but he will play. I've noticed like we have a little sort of catnip stuffed fish that he will also sometimes play and bunny kick around. And sometimes he'll swat a couple of balls here and there, but I will definitely say it definitely feels like he has a very clear preference for a wand toy. Maybe because he also just loves having a human around as well to kind of keep him company during playtime.
I like that. That's he's the right amount of self-sufficient, but also just will like hang around and wants to be friendly with you. Um, when you imagine Cheddar in his forever home, what kind of adopter do you think would really appreciate everything that he has to offer?
Yes, I think definitely, an adopter, like I said, that enjoys a cat that has, like I said, it's very affectionate, enjoys having a cat that's there to greet them, and sort of, yeah, enjoys a cat, like I said. I think, he's while he I think yeah he'll probably be okay either a higher traffic environment kind of home environment or a more chill environment because sort of like you say he sort of has a good balance between the two, but because he does like human company, I think he definitely will like an adopter that can greet him and spend time with him, in the morning or in the night, at least I think in the because we have him in our foster room, and it's like I said, he can be self-sufficient. So while it's okay for us to leave him for long periods, you can tell ideally, right, he loves to be around humans. If he senses our presence outside, you can start hearing him kind of meowing to try to get attention. So I think it's good for him to have like an adopter that's just enjoys having to like play with him, and then once he's sort of more tuckered out, have a good cat companion that's sitting next to you while you're resting or reading a book.
Thanks. That's a really good combination to have in a cat. Is there anything that we've covered about Cheddar that sorry, is there anything about Cheddar that we haven't covered that you would like to share with us right now, Mary?
Sure. So he's also good with other, I mean, my sense is he's good with other cats. We keep him separate just because I have two resident cats, and they're the ones I think are taking much longer to warm up to him. But I can tell, like, for example, if my cat starts sticking their paws under the door, I think Cheddar treats it as kind of like curious, friendly playtime. Even when they sort of might hiss at him to try to, establish boundaries, I've never seen him get aggressive. He still stays very chill and relaxed. And I think he tries to learn about like when to keep his distance. So yes, I think he'd be really good in a home, another cat, especially a friendly cat that you can play with and kind of be friends with. And then, oh, another thing I forgot to mention, he's also really easy to handle. He's really easy to pick up. He doesn't, and then of all the cats I've sort of had or fostered, he's the easiest to trim nails because, like I say, as long as you hold him, then he's kind of just busy purring, and you can kind of easily try and trim his nails while he's busy. So yeah, so I just think he's just a really sweet, just a sweetheart, and I think a pretty good cat for all different kinds of people to have.
Thank you so much for this really nice presentation on Cheddar, Mary. Maggie, are there any questions about Cheddar in the chat?
None yet so far.
Okay, thank you. And I just want to make sure that I drop, their special profiles for you, both Paul and Cheddar, who we presented so far. So if you're interested in learning about either of these wonderful cats, you can go to cdck.cc/Paul, that's spelled Paul, and for Cheddar, that's cdck.cc/Cheddar. That's cdck.cc/Cheddar. for Cheddar. Thank you so much for your time, Mary and Cheddar. We're gonna move on to our next presenter, which is two young cats who prove that there's more than one way to steal your heart. We have the gentle Omar, the adventurous Orlando, also known as Otis, and their foster parent, Anya. I'm just going to spotlight you guys and thank you so much for joining us today.
Sure thing. All
Look
right,
at
so
them.
we have Omar, who is black and white, and we have Orlando, as he's known on the cdck website, but he goes by Otis here, as that was his former name and has a bit of a more fitting ring to it for him.
Thank you so much, Anya. So I would love to start with questions for Omar. I understand that he can be a little cautious at first, but he really thrives once he finds his confidence. What have you learned about the best way to help him warm up, and what's it like when he starts trusting you?
Sure thing. So he is pretty small. I'm trying to get a good angle on him here. He's kind of fighting for the toy here with or Otis, as you can see. But he's a pretty small guy, and I think sometimes his size, he maybe thinks that he doesn't isn't able to take up as much space as some other cats. I have obviously Otis here, as well as my resident cat, but he has really come out of his shell. He really enjoys playtime. He's really, really sweet and just has a very nice personality. So I think if he was changing homes initially, he would maybe have, a bit of a period of adjustment, but then really be able to come out of his shell, as I've seen with him here so far in our home.
And what really helps him come out of his shell in this moment?
I think that he just really likes to be engaged in play and, shown that he has a safe space, right? So whether that's, setting out a designated bowl for him to eat out of and making sure that he has some time to enjoy treats himself that, another cat maybe would not be able to get to. And also it did help to physically put him into a different room. So while he initially started in my bathroom and wasn't really coming out, I had to kind of move him into the living room. And honestly, after about 2 minutes in the living room, he began to explore and was pretty interested.
Okay, that's really good to know. And you mentioned play. So I've been told that he has an impressive toy collection. What does playtime look like with Omar, and which toys or activities really bring out his personality?
Totally. So you can see that they both enjoy playing with this worm on a stick here. Omar also really enjoys sitting in different boxes. He likes to bird watch, so we'll put some seeds out on the sill and he'll get really into it. My resident cat also really enjoys doing that, so it's really sweet to watch them do that together. He will play with pretty much any toy that's out. As you can see, we also have a tunnel out here for them to both play in, and they enjoy to play in that as well. So he's kind of just there, if you're ready to play with him, he will be right there with you.
All right, that's a really good set of you know things that you can keep to entertain Omar and to really like get him warmed up and like make him feel like this can be his space and this is his home. I want to move on next to Orlando, who you've said also responds to Otis. So I'm told that he's got a funny side to him. Are there any moments with him that have really made you think like I have to take a picture of this?
Yeah, it's kind of like literally, 10 times a day he does something so silly that I just have to take a picture. Whether he's like rolling around on his back and stretching his paws out, he also is missing a tail, which kind of just makes him a little funny looking. And any position that he contorts himself into to kind of groom himself is always hilarious. He likes to stick his hind legs up over his head while he grooms himself, which is just hilarious. And he just is really, really silly. He's pretty high energy, but also really likes to sleep as well. So he's just cute in pretty much any position that he's in.
That is adorable. And really good to know about the short tail. I think that that's definitely a defining USP for him.
Totally.
Uh, I think that's really cute, kind of like a bunny tail there.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that he's got a lot of energy. What does that energy look like in everyday life?
Yeah, I mean, so I have obviously the two of these fosters as well as my resident cat, and they all do play together. You know, they get into like little wrestling matches, which I think helps get their energy out a bit. But at the same time, right, if it's kind of nap time for everybody in the house, he finds his spot. I will say he is really great at entertaining himself. So, you know, it's not like I don't think a potential adopter would have to be worried about, you know, finding, you know, several hours in every day to entertain him. If he finds a toy that he wants to play with, he will go and play with it.
Okay, that's really good. Another cat who's like a good combination of self-sufficient, but seems to be pretty easygoing, like gets along with other cats, gets along with other people. Um, you know, since he is energetic, is there anything about his play style that really differs from Omar's? And um, what types of toys or activities really bring out that adventurous side of him?
Yeah. So Omar, I think, is a little bit, like I said, slower to warm. So sometimes that can be with play too. Sometimes Otis is a little bit of a toy hog. He's actually being pretty good right now and kind of just watching as opposed to jutting himself in. But he also, Otis really likes to play with toys that are balls and like little catnip filled mice. And even with the ball, it was really sweet yesterday. He was running around with it and pick it up in his mouth and jump around and, you know, paw at it around. So he really does know how to make a playtime really fun, even if he's just kind of rocking it by himself.
All right. That's really that's a good, set of toys that can keep him occupied. Um, Anya, is there anything that we haven't covered about either Omar or Orlando, aka Otis, that you would like to share?
Yeah, I think that they would both do well in homes with other animals. They came from a large cat colony that was outside. So I think they've both been fine adjusting with my resident cat. And I think that they would really appreciate the company of other animals, whether it's that they go to a home together, which would be awesome, but they also are able to be adopted separately. But I think would be best in homes where there's other animals for them to kind of stay engaged and have that kind of shared time with.
Thank you so much for that, Anya. Maggie, are there any questions about either Omar or Orlando in the chat?
No questions so far, but I just want to add a note that if you're interested in Omar and Orlando, this is a good time to come forward and ask questions because we can answer live with the lovely foster parent here. And if you're interested in sharing this live with your friends or looking for a companion, now is the best time to do so.
Thank you so much for that, Maggie. And I'm just gonna follow that up with the Omar and Orlando's special links. If you're interested in, either a gentle snuggle bug like Omar or on with like the nonstop entertainment that it seems that Otis will bring to your life, it seems like either of them have something really special to offer in the right home. You can learn more about them at cdck.cc/Omar. That's OMAR, and cdck.cc/Orlando. That's ORLANDO. And with that, thank you so much, Anya, Omar, and Otis. And we're going to move on to our next presentation, which is Anita and her foster, Michelle. I'm told that Anita is a confident, social, and chatty tuxedo girl who will run right up to say hello, but also knows how to appreciate the quieter pleasures of naps and following her people around the house. I'm just going to spotlight you guys so that everyone can see how lovely you are. Hello, Anita. Oh, look at that. She's so pretty. Um, so Michelle, yeah, Michelle, let's start with something that you probably know best about Anita. What is her very best trait and what makes her especially wonderful to live with?
So Anita is a very calm and snuggly girl. She's small. She's a small cat, which makes her just like a little bunny. She's just so adorable and so affectionate. And she does like to play, but what she likes mostly is to snuggle in some of her comfy places, like you see her right here, and also snuggling next to you wherever you are. She has these beautiful green eyes, which it looks like she might be showing us right now. Another thing about her, which I really adore, is that she is very talkative. She's very chatty. I'm going to try to engage her a little bit now and try to get a little bit of play out of her because she does love playing with balls and things that she can chase on the ground. Those seem to be her favorite things to play with. But one of the things that I find most endearing about her is her little meows and her little squeaks and her little vocalizations. Whenever you come near her, she runs right up to you and starts having a conversation. And it's just really adorable.
That's so cute. I guess that's she's the right person to sort of debrief about your day with at the end of
Yes.
the workday.
Yeah, yeah. She was having a little bit of playtime at the start of the Zoom. And this is another thing I've discovered about Anita. She likes to play, but it's like she plays in little bursts. And then after a little burst of playtime, she likes to have her rest.
Okay, that's really good to know. And that actually covers my second question, which was, what does her energy really look like on a
Mhm.
day-to-day basis, and how does she actually balance these playful moments with the calmness? Is there some information that you have about, how many times a day would be good to play with Anita?
Mhm. Yeah, she has a pretty, I would say, a pretty mellow temperament. Um, And when we play, she likes to play for maybe 10 minutes or so, chasing a ball. And then she'll kind of decide, well, I've had enough of play today. And she will find kind of a soft place to curl up and just relax for a little bit. One of her favorite toys is this one that we have right here, the ball with a little tinkle bell in it. And I often hear her doing that. Like if I'm in one area of the house and she's in another place, I'll hear her playing a little bit by herself. So she is able to also, if she decides she wants a little exercise, she can play on her own a little bit.
Okay, that's good. So she doesn't need you to be present with her at all times to play.
Hmm.
She's pretty self-sufficient that way.
Right. Right.
But on average, like how many times a day do you play with her?
We play 2 or 3 times a day.
Sweet. That's
One
good.
thing to note is that I do work full time out of the home, and she is independent enough and, comfy enough here that she seems fine being here alone while I'm at work. And then we play a bit and snuggle a bit when I come home from work. And she also sleeps with me, and she's a very nice and very gentle sleep companion.
She sounds perfect, honestly. She's
Yeah.
reminding me of my tuxedo cat that we used to have. She passed away,
Mhm.
unfortunately, but
Aw.
wish I could adopt Anita. Um, is there a particular heartwarming moment or a story about Anita that really made you fall for her or showed you who she is as a companion?
Yeah, when I first brought her home from city dogs and city kitties, I've had cats before and fostered cats before, so I'm very accustomed to them taking a little bit of time to decompress and warm up. And so, I had Anita in my bathroom, which is a smaller room than this. And she was in the bathroom under like a cabinet for the first 24 hours, which made perfect sense. And I was just checking on her from time to time. And then, not even a full 24 hours later, I went into the bathroom and she was like standing in the middle of the bathroom. And then when I came in, she started talking to me and rubbing against my legs and wanting to engage. And it was kind of like she was saying to me, "Where have you been all this time? I've been waiting for you." So it was just very sweet that she did need that little bit of decompression time, as any animal will when transferring into a new environment. But she very quickly found her footing, she became comfortable, and she really wanted to engage. She loves having scritches on her head and her ears and her chin. Um, and she just likes to sit next to her person.
I think that's absolutely lovely. She just seems she's oh, I love the little bump that she did.
Yeah,
She's really trying to show off for the
yeah.
adopters here. Um, Thank you so much for that story. I think it really just shows us how special Anita is. Um,
Hmm.
and I want to move on to another question about I know that I at least I believe that you have a resident dog and she's being fostered
Hmm.
with one.
Yes.
How has she fared with them and do you think that a home with another pet would help her thrive?
Yes, so thank you for asking that. Yes, I do have another dog. And so when Anita first came, we worked to introduce the two of them slowly. And Anita showed curiosity with caution. Anita is a little kitty, and my dog is 57 pounds and very enthusiastic. And so sometimes my dog's enthusiasm is a little bit much for Anita. Um, but I have found that when I'm like on the couch in the evenings and my dog is on one side of me, and by that time my dog is conked out, Anita will come sauntering into the room and she'll look around and she'll kind of assess the situation and then she'll hop up and she will snuggle on the other side of me. And so I am bookended by my two furry roommates. And that's just, you know, if that's not heaven, I don't know what is. So she does show that she is comfortable around other animals, especially if she feels that she can trust her person who's there. And I think she'd also be good as a single animal in a household. So I think she's got a lot of there's a lot of variety for her. I think she'd be satisfied as being the only cat and just waiting for her person and loving her person every day. And I think she also has the relaxed and chill temperament that she could live with other animals and be happy and build those relationships.
That's really good to know. So I guess if there are any potential adopters out there and Anita's caught your eye, and you have maybe another dog or maybe like a gentle dog or maybe another pet that might do well with a slow introduction. It seems like Anita might be able to warm up as long as she knows that she can trust you. So I think that's a really good um, quality of Anita's to share. Michelle, is there anything about Anita that we haven't covered that you would like to share at this point?
Just that her fur is really soft. She does like to make biscuits when she's settled in and cuddling up with her person. She uses a scratching post very well, which is great. I have never seen her scratching on anything that is not meant to be scratched on. And she just really adores finding soft places to cuddle up and curl in. So she's got many options here. She loves the cat tree.
Thank you so much for that, Michelle.
Mhm.
Maggie, I'm gonna ask you if there are any questions for Anita in the chat.
No questions so far.
All right. Well, thank you so much for that, Maggie. And to people who are watching and listening, if you're looking for a confident, easygoing companion who will greet you at the door, and will want to talk with you about your day, and someone who might be good in a house with another pet, it seems like Anita could be a wonderful little roommate here. You can learn more about her on her special profile at cdck.cc/Anita. That's spelled Anita. Once again, that's cdck.cc/Anita. With that, thank you so much, Anita and Michelle, for giving us your time. We're going to move on to meet George and his foster, Mika. I've been told that George is a calm, cuddly, incredibly social boy who is said to be a bit of a dog cat. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm just going to spotlight you guys for everyone to see.
Hey everybody, this is George. George, say hi. He is this total sweetheart, and this is my resident cat, his foster sister. And as you can see, they love to play together. Um, he is pretty active, but I would say a good balance of snuggly, and also, like I said, he's very dog-like. He loves attention. If I'm if I'm petting his sister, his foster sister, and he's across the room, he'll pop his head up from wherever he's at and kind of demand my attention very politely. He'll be like, "Hey, it's not looking very equitable here. I need a pet as well." So he's very friendly. As you can see here, he's done a number on this scratch pad. He loves a flat scratching surface. He's very diligent about, being good about scratching just exclusively on his little pad. And he and his sister love to play together. They love to wrestle. As you can see, they're busy on this track toy right now. But yeah, he's a very polite gentleman. And I don't know if we'll get to hear him chirp, but he has the cutest little meow that he'll do occasionally.
Oh, thank you so much for that lovely introduction, Mika. And I know that you wanted to tell viewers about how George actually shows affection. Are there little things that he does to tell his people that he loves them?
Okay, they're going into wrestle mode now. Let me see if I can get him to just demonstrate. Oh, okay, guys, this is George's time now. George is very, very, let me see if I can get him on my lap. Very, very, affectionate, and like he doesn't mind being held. Well, he's a little bit active right now,
I think
but
he's in the mood to play right now. He's like, not right now, Mom.
but he is very open to being cuddled, and like if I were to like this morning we were snuggling in bed, he he lets me rub his tummy, and he's very, very very playful. Like he'll do gentle bites. Like I can really, I haven't tested him with kids, but I do feel like he would be pretty good because you can get all up in his face, and he like doesn't really, he's not very vicious about being touched. And he will do little licks when he's in a more, where are you going, buddy? In a less active state, in his cuddle state on the couch, come back out. um, so he's very, very gentle, very, very sweet. Boy here.
I love that he's he's a boy. Such a cute boy.
Trying to get good angles.
So I mean, you already told us about how well he does with other cats, and it seems like he would enjoy a home that has another cat. Do you think you could tell us more about what daily life with George is like, and what kind of home would be best for him?
I think he's a very flexible little dude. I think as you can see, he loves playtime and loves being active and social. I think he would do great in a home where he can get a lot of playtime. But again, I typically probably spend like maybe 15 minutes a day playing with him because he's pretty self-sufficient. And then also he and his foster sis play a lot. So I think he's pretty versatile in the types of places he would thrive in. Pretty easygoing dude.
All right, that's really good to know. Mika, is there anything about George that we haven't covered yet that you would like to share?
I think that's about it. As you can see, he's got super inquisitive, kind eyes.
He is
He's a
gorgeous.
super playful little guy. And he's super well-mannered with litter box etiquette and food. Good eater, all of the above. So
All right. Maggie, are there any questions about George in the chats?
No question so far, but I have to say he's absolutely stunning.
He really is. Absolutely. Well, I'm gonna close off this presentation with telling viewers that if you're looking for a cat that might present more as a dog, someone who will like be cuddly and also playful, I think that George might just be your match. And you can learn more about this little guy at cdck.cc/George, and that's spelled George. Once again, that's cdck.cc/George. With that, we're going to move on to our next guest, who is a pair of bonded buddies named Elton and Ricky. They're joined by their foster parent, Andy, who says that these two high energy kitties can go from what he lovingly calls battle cats to snuggle buddies within seconds. And Andy, I'm just going to spotlight you guys. Thank you so much for joining us today. Oh, hold on.
Yeah, of course. And I don't know why I'm so blurry.
Yeah, that is a curious thing indeed. Do you want to try turning it off your camera and turning it on again? Maybe that might help.
Let's see.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
of course. I am gonna try to, let's see. Maybe it's
Oh, there. Oh, it's the
my background
background.
is blurred. That's what
That's
it
what
is.
it is.
There we
Yep.
go.
Wonderful. Now we see them.
So
So
this here is Elton, and over here we have Ricky. They do not like a closed door. So that is why Ricky's hanging out here, sticking his paws under the door, teasing our dog. But as you can see, they like to explore a lot. They just had battle cats during George's time. Fun fact too is they are George's brothers. So we've got parts of their whole litter here.
I love that. That's really sweet to see. So, I guess they're part of the same litter. Are they anything alike, to what we've learned about George?
They are. They're incredibly affectionate. They love to play with each other. They love to play with our resident dog. They want to play with our resident cat, but she does not want to play with them. So it's um, they're very similar to George in those ways. Hey.
I love that. So these guys are honestly, oh, I love I love how it looks like he has a very bad haircut
Oh yeah,
there.
yeah, and
Very
he's got
cute.
that very like straight nose.
It's so cute. It's so cute. Was that Ricky?
Yep, Ricky has the whiter face, whereas Elton has the more black and white face.
I love their marking. It's very, very unique, very pretty. So I guess, you said that we missed battle cats, but I really have to know more about that description. What is it like watching them play together, and then how does that suddenly turn into snuggle time?
Well, it's funny because it's so quiet when it happens. They'll be cuddling on the couch, and then all of a sudden you look over and they're wrestling. So they're just very, very funny in that way in terms of just going from quiet and resting to quiet and just snuggling with each other or giving each other a bath.
So like that just happens like mid wrestle. They're just like, you know what? I think we've had enough, and let's just groom each other now.
Yeah, exactly. So let's
That's
see,
so cute.
maybe Ricky will pounce on Elton for us.
Yeah, maybe we'll get to see that. But in the meantime, I want to know more about both of them. You said that both of them have kind of a 5 out of 5 for energy. What does a really great play session with Elton and Ricky look like, and what are their favorite toys?
What's funny is they don't like to play with toys with people. They like to play with toys either with each other or on their own. Um, of course, they are under the bed now. So basically, you know, you'll hear the jingling of the jingle ball or the them kind of chasing and pouncing on the laser dot. But when you try to like engage them with those toys and try to maybe get them to play fetch and bring it to you, or at least bat it around with you, they are not interested anymore. They want to do it themselves. They're very independent. And so it's very kind of entertaining to kind of see what their personalities are like in that regard too.
All right. Well, I guess that's great for someone who's maybe really busy and working from home and doesn't necessarily have a lot of time to commit to actively playing with them, I guess, right?
Yeah, definitely. And it's one of those things too that to kind of give my resident cat a break, we'll keep them out of the bedroom at night, and they're totally fine with that. The only time they really meow is when they're looking for the other one. As you can see, he's got a tennis ball, which I don't
Yeah.
even know where that came from.
They just thief. They thief.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so cute. And that's really, I guess that's a really sweet sign of their bond, right? You said that they're bonded. Do you have an idea of how they get along in it, I guess like, what kind of home would really suit them?
It's one of those things that I'm thankful that July 4th happened when I had them. So you can kind of see what it's like when it's a little bit more chaotic, especially outside the house. Um, to kind of see, like, are they going to react to the fireworks that are happening all over the neighborhood? And they didn't. They were mostly themselves. So that kind of tells me that they're good in a chaotic home. Because they play with each other and get along with both our dog and our cat, there's no reservations there. I haven't seen them with kids, but it's one of those things that because they are so playful and they aren't afraid of people, that I don't have any doubts that they, oh, here we go. I don't have any doubts that they would get along in a house with kids too.
That's lovely to see. I know that you said that they don't really engage much with you while you're playing, but is there a way that they engage with you as a person?
Oh yeah, Elton is definitely the snuggly one. Um, and it becomes one of those things that when Ricky sees Elton being pet and loved on, then Elton also wants, or I'm sorry, and then Ricky also wants that. Ricky will never be the one to initiate, but when he sees Elton getting it, he wants it too.
That's really cute. And I know that you've described Elton to also kind of be the fearless one, so it does seem kind of like Elton's like the little leader among the two of them, right?
Yeah, definitely. That's definitely the case.
Do you have any stories of how their personalities have really complemented each other?
I mentioned that when they're only really vocal when they're looking for the other. And that is kind of the limited cases when they are actually apart, because 95% of the time they're together. Where there's one, there's the other. And, that kind of also manifests itself when they get into trouble. When you're kind of looking for them and you don't see them anywhere, and then all of a sudden you hear meowing from inside the closet. They've somehow trapped themselves inside the closet or the bathroom or just somewhere else where they've kind of closed the door um, on themselves. And so they're just very funny in that way.
That sounds really comical. Sounds like they're like sneaky little ninjas, but also like really bad at being sleuths.
Oh, yeah.
I love that. They're definitely kittens that will keep you entertained for sure. Is there anything that we haven't covered yet that you would like to share about either Elton or Ricky or both of them together?
No, I think we've covered everything. They're like I said, I think what's really special about them is they get along well with each other, of course, because they're a bonded pair. But they all just get along with everybody they've met so far, whether it's people or another pet. So I think that makes them kind of really great additions to any sort of household.
Thank you so much for that information. Maggie, are there any questions about this bonded pair in the chat?
No question so far, but the names Elton and Ricky take me back to, music that we used to listen to when we were younger. So if that's any indication of how fun they are, this is
Oh
definitely
yeah.
the best time to ask questions.
And that's actually who they're named after. So they were part of the Pride litter. So that was Elton John, Ricky Martin, George Michael is who George was named after. But they've also had a couple of sisters that have already been adopted. I think in total there were 7 Pride siblings.
That's very, very cool. So if you want to find out more, this is the best time to ask questions.
Absolutely. Thank you for plugging that there, Maggie. And hopefully we do get some questions. And if you don't have any questions at this moment, but you really have found that you like the idea of twice the sweetness and twice the fun with cats like Elton and Ricky. I think that they would make a wonderful pair in your loving home, and you can learn more about them on their special links at cdck.cc/Elton, and that's spelled Elton, and then cdck.cc/Ricky, and that's spelled Ricky. So thank you so much for your time, Elton, Ricky, and Andy. And with that, we're gonna finish our lineup with 3 fearless, playful kittens, Sequoia, Sienna, and Salvio. And they're here with their foster parent, Kristen, who says that all 3 love being held and loved on. They love other cats and they come running up to say hello, but that they still have their own unique personalities. I'm just gonna spotlight you guys. Thank you so much for joining us today. And with that, Kristen, let's start with a quick introduction in just a sentence each. What is the one thing that sets Sequoia, Sienna, and Salvio apart from each other, and what makes them memorable to you?
So the gray kitty right here, this is Sienna. She's the most independent of the 3. She, loves to play with everybody, but when it comes nap time, she's going to go find a dark corner of my place, and I will not be able to find her until she's ready to wake up. So she likes her, quiet napping spot. Then trying to get their siblings, trying to keep 3 kittens in the same location is tough. The tuxedo is Sequoia. She is, when I picked her up, I knew right away she was going to be the most adventurous one and the one probably to get in the most good trouble. But she has recently taught herself how to play fetch. So, and then Salvio, who just ran away, and I'm sure we'll be back in a second. He is they're all cuddly, but he's the most cuddly. And got really dark over here. But he, honestly, if he's not wrestling and playing with a sibling, he's curled up on my lap, curled up on my shoulder. He's definitely a mama's boy. So let's see if I can get him over
I
here.
love that. Yeah, you kind of get every cat on the different spectrum of snuggliness from a mama's boy to someone who's super super independent.
This one's
I-
Salvio.
Hi,
Hard to
Salvi.
see with him being a fully black cat, but
Oh, love that. Love that. So in the survey that I sent out to you, you rated all 3 a 4 out of 5 for energy, I think. Do you think you could give us a quick snapshot of what that kitten energy really looks like in your home and whether any of them have a particularly distinctive play style?
So I'd say 4 out of 5 for kittens. Kittens automatically already have a huge amount of energy. And I think playstyle, they definitely need a sibling or another cat to play with. They will love to play with a human, but they just have so much energy. They're constantly going to be chasing each other around the house, wrestling. And if they didn't have a kitty sibling, they're going to try and turn you into their sibling and wrestle with you and chew on you. So a kitty sibling is best way to get out their energy. But yeah, they literally can play for hours, and everything is a toy to them. So they don't need any fancy toys. They will be happy with a wadded up piece of paper and a friend that they can wrestle to the ground. Thanks, all.
That's so sweet. So, I understand that you said that they all love being picked up, which is honestly pretty remarkable for a whole litter. What is it like that when they're feeling affectionate, and is one of them specifically like the biggest love bug? I'm guessing it's Salvio or
Salvio is
Simon. Yeah.
absolutely the biggest love bug of all of them. But it's funny because Sequoia, the tuxie here, she was probably the least cuddly at first, but over the past 2 weeks, I'd say she's become really cuddly. And I had somebody over earlier today for a couple of hours, and once they got comfortable, Sequoia just curled up in her lap and slept for most of the visit. Um, Now, Sienna, she's the kind of like the runt of the litter. She's always been the smallest, and I think why she wanted to assert her independence for the most. That she's not a baby, but she is recently, probably this past week, starting to learn that cuddling is more fun. But yeah, Salvio is the one that if he's not playing, he's going to be cuddled up, curled up, sleeping with you on your lap. He makes it very hard to work from home because he wants to be all up in whatever you're doing all of the time. Right, buddy? Come here. Oops, toys down there now. But yeah, they're honestly three of the well, they had siblings, so the whole litter. They are probably the easiest kittens I've ever fostered, and they're quiet too. The only time I ever hear a sound out of any of them is when they are wrestling, and one of them might let out a little squeal, but that's about it.
That's pretty remarkable, honestly. Like I
Yes.
said, it's really cool to see that with kittens, because when you think kittens, you think, lots of chaos and lots of energy. And it seems like, you saying that they're the easiest ones that you worked with, that's something. It's a special thing. So I guess, anyone who is looking for kittens, and maybe not entirely all of the chaos that comes with it, maybe, looking at this litter would be a great option for you guys. So you described, Kristen, you described them as smart and trainable, and I'm so curious about what is something that they've done that really shows off their intelligence or curiosity for you.
Well, I would say for definitely learning how to play fetch for Sequoia, the tuxie, and they all are very attentive to what I'm doing, and they know. I should say they're quick learners on everything, on you know whether I'm moving the litter box location or moving where the feeding area is. Everything I've had to change for them, they've been very adaptable, and yeah, they're not set in their ways. So we're getting a little blurry here, but yeah, I have 2 1-year-old cats in the home as well, and they they've learned pretty quickly what they can and cannot do with the 1-year-olds, and they actually have. What are you doing over here? They have good manners with the adults, which is great. But even though they still get a little kitten naughty with them, but they've learned to respect the boundaries of the older cats in the home. Okay.
I think that's really nice. So I guess, if someone's out here looking to get their cat a kitten, I guess, again, look at the S litter. They seem like a really good option. Um it seems like they're not really bonded in fixed pairs, but since they are so little, they might still need a buddy. What should adopters really know about pairing them with either one another, or bringing them home to another young cat?
So for these three, they would be fine. They don't have to be any set bonded pair, but they definitely need a friend. The Sienna, the gray one, she even though now she's gonna wrestle and she stole the toy from Sequoia, um, she's the one that would probably be most respectful if somebody adopted her to pair up with, say, an older resident cat in their home, she is going to be a little more understanding and probably less annoying to them with the kitten energy and trying to wrestle. Sequoia, the tuxie, she's definitely, if she is adopted as in without a sibling, she's gonna need a home with a very playful cat because she just has the most crazy energy out of all three of them. So come here. Can you get up? Okay. And I was gonna say Salvio, who's just chilling on the floor now, is I'll say he's kind of medium. He does have a little extra energy, but he oh, he as long as they have a playmate, they should be okay. But if they do get adopted to a home that has an older resident cat, Sienna, the gray kitty, she would probably be the best match because she is the calmer of the three. Now I say that no kitten is calm, but she is slightly calmer than the other two.
All right, that really helps us understand, what kind of homes would be best for each of these kitties if they're not adopted altogether. Is there anything that we haven't covered, Kristen, about this adorable litter that you would like to share with us?
I don't think so. They've been so much fun to foster, and they've been easygoing. They've been extremely healthy. I normally expect young litters to at least, go through something, but no, they've been great. And they still haven't. They're too young for the rabies vaccine yet, so an adopter would need to get them a rabies vaccine. But otherwise, they've been spayed and neutered, and they've had their distemper vaccines, so they're ready to find their forever home. That's for certain.
All right. And we hope that this event helps them find that sooner. Maggie, are there any questions about any of the S-litter kittens in the chat?
No questions, but thanks for mentioning that, Prabha, because I was thinking about how their names are an alliteration, basically.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
S. So if you have any questions for the three adorable kittens, please let us know in the chat, and we will be happy to answer them.
Yes, and you know what? If you don't have any questions at this moment and you want to check out their profiles later, I can drop them here for you. It is cdck.cc/Sequoia, which is Sequoia. And then cdck.cc/Sienna, which is Sienna, and then cdck.cc/Salvio, which is Salvio. With that, we are bringing our presentation today to a close. I want to thank the Fosters once again for everything that you do in general, and also for attending today and for participating. I really appreciate anyone in the audience who tuned in. And once again, Maggie, I really couldn't have done this without you. You really help monitor the chats and see, if we have any questions for these wonderful cats. For anyone who was listening today and is interested in checking out our website, once again, it is citydogsrescuedc.org. And that is once again where you can go if you want to volunteer like some of these fosters, or if you want to donate to the rescue or adopt one of the cats that you've seen today, or if you're, interested in a dog, looking at the dogs that are available for adoption. With that, I appreciate you all for attending today. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope you have a lovely rest of your Sunday.